Hey, Houseguests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. What's good? Our Houseguests of the day are Roy, Diane, and Daryl 90210. Thank you both so much for the support. You guys are awesome, and we couldn't do this without you. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be Houseguests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, so I know it's not the weekend, but a girl can dream. So I'm just channeling weekend vibes right now. I need it. Okay. So I also, before we get started here, want to thank all of our super chatters from yesterday because you guys are awesome, and we also couldn't make this happen without you. So Susie Loy, Mike Ames, Vajroth, Ashley Barnett, Kennedy Miller, Dawn MH302, thank you all so much, and Deshawn. I love you. Thank you. All right. And I see we already have a super chatter today. Sheena123. Thank you so much for the support. And he asked, Queen Maddie, you guys crack me up when you say that. Queen Maddie, if you were the only girl in a 5-person guy alliance, which 4 guys would you align with and why from this season? Okay. That's a good question. Thank you for asking. I'm going to start off by saying I would not set myself up in an alliance where I was the only girl with 5 guys or 4 guys. I would never do it. Never, never, never. So that being said, because I want to answer your question, if I had to pick 4 guys to align with, I guess I would say Kaser, Ian, who else? Enzo, and I don't know. Let's just say Kaser, Ian, and Enzo. I can't think of. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing it. Oh, David. I'd align with David for sure. Definitely David. But thank you for your question. You're awesome. And Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much for your super chat. You are awesome, and we really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started and not get distracted by my phone. When we left off yesterday, Christmas in Memphis up on the block. Nicole did not use the veto, and she wants Memphis out this week. However, the 2 voters, Cody and Enzo, are conflicted here. Enzo wants Christmas out because he is concerned that she will cut either him or Cody if she wins the power veto next week. I feel like he's correct because I'm pretty sure that Christmas would like to go to the final 3 with Nicole because she thinks that she has a better chance against her. But Enzo is insisting Memphis wants to go to the final 3 with us guys, so it would be better for us to keep Memphis around. Now, on the flip side, Cody wants Memphis out because Memphis is the better competitor, and Cody is banking on winning these last competitions. So he's like, I got to get rid of the better competitor, give myself a better chance to win. Whereas Enzo is not feeling super confident in his competition skills. So he wants to keep around the person that he feels is more likely to bring him to the final 3, which is why he wants to keep Christmas. But Cody says Memphis will definitely try and cut me next week if he wins power veto. I mean, he tried to get me backdoored this week. What's going to stop him next week? And he insists that Christmas, if she were to win the veto, she is going to want to break up him and Nicole, not him and Enzo. And ideally, yeah, I think Christmas would prefer to break up Nicole and Cody. But ideally, she would want to get rid of Cody. I don't see her getting rid of Nicole. I think she would probably get rid of Enzo, right? I think. I don't know. I mean, you never know. But anyway, Cody says again, if we lose the competitions to Christmas, we deserve to go. Okay. So then Christmas was in the HOH room with Nicole, and Nicole says, I straight up lied to Memphis about what I want to happen this week. She did tell Memphis, I'm fine with Christmas leaving, and she was just trying to make him feel better before the POV ceremony, but we know that Nicole definitely wants Memphis to go. So Nicole says, if Memphis says anything to you, about me wanting him to stay, don't take that to heart because that's not what I really want. So Christmas is like, cool, tight. Christmas asks, did you get a read on Cody? Because she hasn't really campaigned to Cody yet. So Nicole says, no, I haven't had alone time with him yet. Come on. So here's what the deal is with this. Cody is planning on keeping Christmas. However, he discussed with Nicole that he wants Christmas to be on edge here. He wants her to be off balance going into this next HOH competition. So he doesn't want Christmas being comfortable and knowing that she is going to be safe this week. So he doesn't want to give her a straight answer. So yeah, Nicole and Christmas both say they're going to talk to Cody about it tonight, meaning last night. So Christmas says, Enzo, I've talked to him. He's already reassured me multiple times that he's going to be keeping me. And Nicole's like, good. I have no worries about it at all. So again, Nicole is like, I would normally like be honest with somebody and say if I wanted them to go or not. But she says, I don't want to be straight up with Memphis because he might try and get into the guys' minds and try and flip the vote. So she doesn't want to leave that door open. So then Christmas says, I was talking to Memphis and he asked me when I'm going to start campaigning. And she was like, I told him that people already made up their minds before the POV ceremony. So, I'm not going to campaign. But she tells Nicole, I don't want Memphis to think that I'm going around campaigning. She says, the less that he thinks I'm doing, the better, because then he'll be more relaxed. So the last thing that Christmas wants is for Memphis to catch wind that he might actually be in trouble this week and then have him actually start campaigning. So she's trying to keep it on the down low. So then Nicole is continuing to push her narrative that Cody and Enzo are super tight, but she's not with them. She's not a part of that. There's two duos. It's Cody and Enzo, and then it's Memphis and Christmas, and she's just little old Nicole by herself. So then Christmas is like, okay. And then she starts talking about how she's going to be turning it up in competitions moving forward. She says, you know what? Me losing that HOH competition was a positive for me in a way, because now I'm going to be working so hard to win competitions. I'm going to push so much harder. So far, I've just been playing around, having fun, and now I'm really going to go for it. That's not what Nicole wants to hear. So then they talk about going to the end together, and Christmas says, we will have total control next week. We'll be able to decide what we want to happen if I win HOH, because Nicole's not playing, and either me or you win the power of veto. It's going to be all up to us. So Christmas says the smartest move would be for us to go to the final three with Enzo, not Cody. I mean, obviously, Enzo's not as good at competitions as Cody. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Nicole says, absolutely. Something tells me that Nicole definitely wants Cody in the final three. If it's up to Nicole, she is not cutting Cody. No freaking way. But she tells Christmas, yes, that sounds great. Let's go to the final three with Enzo. Sure. So then a little later, Nicole and Cody chat in the HOH room. And Nicole says, I'm worried. She's speaking Cody's language. So Nicole asks, do you still think getting rid of Memphis is best for this week? And Cody says, I don't know. What do you think? And Nicole says, Christmas, I was talking to her, and she said that losing that HOH competition was good for her because now she's going to be more locked in. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So she says, I just don't want her to win the next HOH. She wants Cody to win this next HOH competition. And it's only going to be Cody, Enzo, and Christmas or Memphis, whichever one of them stays. And at this point, it would be Christmas staying. So Nicole is saying, I want Memphis to leave for sure, but she's feeling really nervous, that Christmas is talking up her competition skills now and saying, you've seen nothing yet. So Cody says, yeah, well, Christmas is saying she's locked in. Well, we're locked in too. I'm not worried. Okay. He says Christmas panics under pressure, which does seem to be the case. I mean, if you look at most of her competition wins, they're not super impressive. I mean, there's a few that she won for sure, and like she played really well, but then there's some that are like, did she really win that? Was everyone else really trying? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know if she's as much of a comp beast as she thinks she is. But anyway, Cody tells Nicole, Enzo is worried about Christmas too. And I told him at this point in the game, you got to win competitions or you go home. There is no backup plan. You got to win these comps. And to a certain degree, he's right. But the thing is, Cody is used to being one of those players where it's like you win or you go home. But there is that path where you kind of just get dragged along. But I feel like that's not typically a player that wins some things. You know, you can't be like a lukewarm player and get dragged along. Really, you gotta be pretty bad because they don't want there to be like any chance that you're gonna win competitions if you're gonna get dragged along. But anyway, it is a possibility. Okay, so Cody brings up that Enzo is nervous that Christmas has been spending so much time with Nicole. And Nicole says, it's not like that. Like, I run from Christmas. I'm not trying to hang out with her. So Cody's like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm always reassuring Enzo all the time that, you know, you want to get away from her and it's not going to change anything. So Cody says, it's going to be so easy for us to beat Enzo in that final 3 HOH, you know, the 3-parter. And Nicole agrees. She says, worst case scenario, Christmas wins the power veto next week. I mean, worst case would be like for them if, I feel like worst case for Nicole would be if Enzo won HOH, honestly, because I think she would like to be in the final 2 or final 3 with Christmas and Cody, but she doesn't want to be the one to cut Enzo. But anyway, she says, worst case scenario, Christmas wins the power veto next week. Nicole is hoping in that situation she would be able to convince Christmas to vote out Enzo and not one of those two. And I would say if Christmas wins the veto and it's Nicole and Enzo up on the block, then yeah, I would say Christmas will probably vote out Enzo. But if it was, sorry, I'm thinking, but if it was Enzo and Cody up on the block, Christmas would definitely be voting out Cody. For sure. Okay, so meanwhile, Christmas and Enzo chatting in the photo bedroom. And Enzo says, if Nicole gets to the end, she's got a chance to win this thing, yo. Now, Enzo is trying to make sure that Christmas will cut Nicole if she wins the power veto next week. He's really trying to play up that Nicole is a champion. We got to get her out of here. Because Enzo is nervous that if Christmas wins the power veto, she will take him out. So Nicole, he says she's starting to win competitions now, and that's a problem. But Christmas says she is confident that she can beat Nicole in these last few competitions. She says these are going to be in my wheelhouse. We'll see. So Enzo says, me and you need each other in the final 3. And Christmas agrees. Enzo says, I'm smart. I know that I can't win against Cody in the final 2. Does he know that? Or is he just saying that? Because I still feel like Enzo wants to go to the final 2 with Cody. I don't know. But Enzo says, I probably can't beat Nicole at this point either. She's a champion, yo. Enough. So Christmas and Enzo agree that they feel Nicole and Cody came into this season with a deal already in place. Christmas says they had the same mentor, Derek, and Enzo says Nicole and Cody were probably on the phone for like 3 months talking about what they were going to do this season before the show even started. Oh, so Enzo says he lets Christmas know that Cody wants to keep Christmas this week, which is kind of a big deal because Cody was going to try and play up the whole, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, so that Christmas would be on edge and maybe would be a little bit freaked out going into that HOH competition. But now Enzo is spilling the beans. So Enzo's like, yeah, it's good that they want to keep you this week. Cody thinks that you're not as strong of a competitor as Memphis in these competitions, so that's why he wants Memphis out. And he tells Christmas, Let Cody think that. Let Cody think that Memphis is the better player. And Enzo tells Christmas, you're all I have. He says, I have a really good relationship with Cody, but I know that I can't beat him. Do you guys really think that Enzo would cut Cody at the end? I mean, I think he should. I think that's true that he's not going to beat Cody in the final two, but do you think that Enzo is actually going to, like, make a move like that? Because I got my doubts. But Christmas says, if I win POV next week, I'm protecting you. And Enzo agrees. We are breaking Cody and Nicole up next week. Christmas says, I want Cody out. Enzo's playing along, but I'm sure that he would prefer Nicole goes next week. Because think about it. Enzo would probably rather have Christmas in the final three than Nicole. Because he knows that Christmas, no way would Christmas want to take Cody to the final two. No way. So she would pick him. Nicole would want to pick Cody. So if Enzo goes to the final three with Christmas and Cody, both of them are going to take him to the final two. So that is definitely something that he's thinking about. I think ideally Enzo would want Nicole to go next week. All right. So then later, Christmas gives Nicole a quick update in the bathroom area. She's like, okay, good news. I talked to Enzo and it went well. She says, Enzo even told me that Cody is on board to keep me this week because he thinks that I'm less of a threat than Memphis. So Nicole's like, oh, good. Awesome. Yeah. So on the inside, Nicole's probably like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Because now Christmas knows that Cody does want to keep her around this week. Uh-oh. Okay, so meanwhile, Memphis is in the HOH room with Cody. And Memphis asks, can we just fast forward to Thursday? Clueless. And he says, you know what's awesome? On Thursday, me, you, or Enzo will be HOH since Nicole can't play. He says, that's a good-ass feeling, knowing that, like, I don't have to worry about who's going to be HOH. Yikes! Memphis, I don't know that you're going to be here for it, bud. So Memphis says not to get ahead of ourselves, but me and you, Cody, we could pull this off. We could go all the way to the final two. And Cody's playing along with this, even though he knows that he is voting Memphis out, or at least that's what he's planning on at the time. So Cody is then like, oh, cool. What's Christmas doing? What's she up to? And Memphis says, nothing. Christmas seems content right now, which is halfway creepy. And he says, he's asking Cody, like, do you think that Christmas is really not going to say anything to you? Because Christmas is not really campaigned to Cody at this point. So Memphis says, that seems crazy. So Cody figures she's probably going to have a conversation with me at some point, but I don't know what to say to her. Now remember, Cody was telling Nicole that he wants to keep Christmas in the dark. He wants to keep her off balance going into this HOH competition. So obviously, Memphis does not know about any of that because Memphis thinks that he's staying. So Memphis says, Christmas just spent the last 48 hours trying to get you backdoored. So I don't know what she could even say to you at this point. But Cody knows that Memphis was also trying to get him backdoored this week. So I'm sure he's like... So Memphis's advice, just tell Christmas that you have to do what's best for your game. And Cody says, you know what? Yeah, I might just be straight up with her and tell her that I'm voting her out. But that's not what he's planning on doing. Okay, so then they talk about how Enzo needs to step it up for the POV competition next week. They really need him to focus and pull out a win. And Cody says, it's going to be so easy for us. This is what he says to everybody now. It's going to be so easy for us to beat Enzo in the final 3 HOH competitions. Yeah. So anyway, Memphis leaves to go cook. Cody sneezes. I don't know why. It just was funny to me. Because then Cody turns to the camera and says, he shakes his head. And he's like, oh boy, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. So are they actually going to blindside Memphis and not warn him ahead of time? Okay, so later, Nicole checks in with Cody in the photo bedroom, and she's like, I gotta tell you something. Christmas checked in with me and said Enzo told her that you're voting to keep her this week. So I don't know if your plan is going to work. And she's talking about the plan to keep Christmas off balance and not knowing what's going on. So Cody's like, effing Enzo. He's pissed because he was really counting on this. He's looking for any advantage that he can get going into this HOH competition. And now it's gotten screwed up. So Nicole says, Christmas is still going to come and talk to you. So you got to figure out what you're going to say to her. All right. So then the rest of the night, last night, Big Brother came through with a booze delivery, a whole 1 beer for each house guest. So Cody was really disappointed about that. He's been in a mood the last few days. Oh my God. So they were all enjoying their beers, hanging out, playing charades. And I feel like Big Brother even shaded them at one point when they were like, let's play charades. And Big Brother was like, you've got to be kidding me. Right? They should just replay Kaser's eviction speech over the loudspeaker. That would be hilarious. They were also talking a lot last night about how Christmas wants to go on the challenge. Okay, cool. So then today, Christmas was talking to the cameras again. This time she's in the key bedroom, and she says, something has switched on in me. She says, I'm so ready to just dominate, not just play, but kick some ass. And she says she's ready to secure her spot in the final 3. And she's not even thinking about next week's Power Veto competition. She wants to win that HOH, so she doesn't have to worry about her safety at all for the week. She just wants to win that one, and then whatever happens with the veto, whatever. So then Memphis comes in to talk to her, and then the feed's cut. Dang! And they stay down for their whole conversation. What the hell? What the hell is this? So when the feeds come back, Christmas is alone again, and Christmas says, maybe this is what they were talking about. She says, me and Memphis are going to be vouching for each other with the jury. Whichever one of us leaves this week, we're going to help kind of like push the jury to respect whichever one's staying's game. So they're also going to have a conversation before tomorrow's eviction, and they're going to kind of like go through each other's gameplay and try and like poke holes in it and see how they can sharpen up each other's games to make sure whoever stays has the best chance to win. I think they were actually having this conversation not too long ago, but if it's any good, we'll talk about it in tomorrow's spoiler. So Christmas was then talking to the cameras about how great a game she played. I'm going to move on. Okay, so then Nicole and Cody were playing backgammon in the HOH room, and Nicole asks, are we still going to blindside Memphis this week? Like, what's the deal? And Cody says, he's not sure yet. He's not saying, like, we're not getting rid of him, but he's saying, I don't know if we're going to blindside him or if I'm going to tell him before. And it seems like, again, Cody is in a bad mood right now. He says, I don't know what I'm going to say to Christmas when she talks to me, when she campaigns to me, because Enzo already spilled the beans to Christmas and told her that I want her to stay. And Cody is pissed about that. He says, you guys shouldn't have told her that she's safe. You should have let her spiral so that she'd be a mess going into this competition. So he's not happy about it. But we'll see what happens. Tomorrow is the eviction. At this point, Memphis is still going. You never know. Things could flip at the last minute. We'll see if anything happens tonight. We'll also see, is Christmas going to campaign to Cody or what? And, are they going to warn Memphis ahead of time that they're getting rid of him, or will we finally get a blindside? We'll see.
Oh, hi.
Hello there. Hello, Mr. Smiles. And I also want to say, today is Lucy's birthday. She's 7 today, and we're very excited. We're going to be celebrating later. Got some special treats for her and
Yeah.
Bodie. Yes, it's your sissy's birthday.
Ain't no party like a sister's party.
Yeah. I don't know if she's going to come in here, but
Party.
hopefully she'll make an appearance before we're done. But I want to thank all of our super chatters today. You guys are amazing. We couldn't do this without you. So Sheena123, thank you again. Jefferson Tucker, thank you again. Jefferson Tucker, thank you again. Lala Buffenmeyer, thank you so much. And she has a question. Do you go live for other shows after BB? That's a great question. We have gone live in the past. We do like a weekly, just like hanging out, shooting the shit kind of thing on Thursday nights. I think it's usually 9 to 10 p.m., right? So
Eastern.
yeah. So we are planning on doing some more live chats after Big Brother's over. We're also going to be going back, I think, to our vegan live streams. Before Big Brother started, we were doing those on Friday afternoons. I'm not sure.
I don't know what day we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm not sure what day we're doing that yet, but I would like to do it again. So we got to schedule that. But I'm not sure if we're going to do any like dedicated show chats like this. We have to figure out what's going to be going on.
I think it's just going to be whatever you
I think
want
it's
to
just
talk
going to be
about.
like hanging out. But thank you for asking. We will let you guys know all of that like as the season is drawing more to a close. So thank you for asking, and thank you for the support. Traval K, thank you so much. Dawn MH, thank you so much. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. And Jody asks, Enzo is sleeping in the HOH. Is that okay? Yeah, apparently he's been like Nicole's bodyguard in the HOH room. He's trying to talk block so that Christmas won't hang in there too long. So he's been falling asleep on the couch in the HOH room listening to Taylor Swift. Apparently it's allowed because he's been doing it for days now.
Maybe he's trying to stay in there to stay away from Christmas.
I don't know.
So he's not tempted.
Yeah, that's Memphis. That's not Enzo. Enzo's the one sleeping in the HOH room.
Oh, Enzo.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Like, I feel like everybody's on Memphis watch right now.
Memphis?
Yeah.
I don't know. Looks pretty,
I don't freaking know.
Looks pretty comfy.
It's a whole mess. But anyway, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching today. I know a lot of you were talking about Amazing Race. We're definitely watching it. We're not going to be recapping it this season.
We'll probably talk about it in tomorrow's vlog or the day after.
Yeah.
And then
on our daily vlogs, on our vlog channel.
I'm thinking the Thursday night streams will start again probably the first week of November.
Yeah, and we'll probably be talking about.
Yeah, we'll be chatting about it.
Amazing Race on there.
Yeah, and Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
and
we'll have lots of things to chat about with you guys.
Sure.
Lulu, come here. Where's that birthday girl?
She said, I gotta go outside
All right.
to use my bathroom.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, of course, vote November 3rd. Absolutely. If you have early voting, get it done so you don't have to worry about it.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight for the episode recap. So until then, much love. Ah! Okay.